Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a car chat, so I apologize if at any point this conversation gets a little loud from the bumps in the car, but I just wanted to get a video out talking about some stuff that's been going on. So if I'm not looking at the camera, it's because I'm looking at the road and I've got this mounted, so it might get a little bit loud, but we're going to try our best. And it might get refilmed, it might not, but I've just been putting any sort of video off for so long that I just want to get something out there. So today I'm going to be doing a sit-down video talking about where I've been and why I haven't been filming YouTube videos. And I'm sure you're thinking, Catherine, you only have 66 subscribers. Why do you feel the need to tell people why you've been gone? And to be honest with you, you're probably right. This video is probably not going to reach very many people at first. But I just want to make this video in hopes that it might help somebody that might be going through the exact same thing or something similar. So as a disclaimer, this video is going to include talk about depression. It's going to include talk about feeling hopeless, and it's going to include methods that I used to cope with my depression and hopelessness. Now, some of these I will mention might not be the most healthy methods, and there are some that I'll tell you straight up are not healthy methods to deal with your depression or coping. But as any person that has depression will tell you, you need to see a doctor. Do not take my coping mechanisms as like the end-all be-all way to cope with depression. They're just ways that worked for me or didn't work for me, and they're ones that I want to share with you. And I feel like it's very important that you know that I did see a licensed therapist. I did go see a doctor. I did go see people that were professionals that were able to help me with my issues. So don't just do this. If you're feeling the way that I was feeling, make sure you go see somebody. So that being said, I've been gone and I've kind of been like on and off making videos because I'm dealing with some stuff, and it's actually getting better, which is fantastic. But I've been dealing with some things that have been extremely troublesome for me. And when I say troublesome, I mean like I couldn't get out of bed some days. I couldn't go to work some days, and it was just really, really bad. So I've been dealing with depressive feelings since I was about 15. They say that I've kind of been dealing with it since I was little, which I believe full-heartedly, because I've always kind of been, and this sounds really bad, but a glass is half empty kind of person. But I've also kind of been on the spectrum of the glass is not really up or down. It just kind of is what it is. So, lately I've been dealing with a lot of stuff, and I'm not going to really go into the stuff that I've been dealing with out of respect for other people, but I've been dealing with a lot of crap at work, and I've been dealing with a lot of crap at home, and the combination of it all, on top of me losing friendships and dealing with people using me and realizing that certain people aren't really my friends, and relying so heavily on friendships to kind of block out what's been going on at home and at work, and just dealing with all of that just has been a lot. So I've been doing a lot of sleeping. I was doing a lot of drinking, heavily drinking. And there's nothing wrong with drinking, especially at my age. I'm 24. I live in a city that's consumed by alcohol and consumed by, partying and whatnot. And I don't really think that there's anything wrong with it. And I'll be completely transparent with that. It becomes a problem when you're relying on it to stay emotionally stable, in order to smile, in order to feel like your friendships are validated only when you're drinking. So I was drinking pretty heavily. I wasn't drinking like during the day. I wasn't going to work drunk. I wasn't doing anything like that. But like I'd come home and I'd drink an entire hurricane to myself, if not two. And that's how I would unwind at night. And I kind of was getting to the point where like I was gaining a lot of weight from the alcohol consumption, and that was making me even sadder. And I'm already a big girl, so like when I gain weight, I definitely notice it. I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little too big, getting a little too like uncomfortable in my own skin. And there's nothing wrong with big girls. I want to say that now because I feel like I'm gonna get attacked for that. But I know what's comfortable for my skin, and I know that like I was gaining too much for myself. So that being said, I decided to quit drinking alcohol. Now, I feel, sorry, just adjusting the camera here. I feel a little bit perplexed saying this, but I couldn't smile, like I said earlier, without drinking. Without having some sort of head rush. I couldn't like joke around or anything. So when I quit drinking, just to kind of get back to normal and just get back to the flow of things, I became really, really sad. And when I say sad, I mean I wasn't able to get out of bed. I wasn't able to keep friendships alive. And like as we're speaking now, I've only got maybe 3 good friends, and I barely speak to them, and they barely speak to me. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that I've cut myself off from them. And a lot of my friends quit hanging out with me because I was drinking so heavily, which is another thing. Like a lot of people don't like that, and who's to blame them? They don't like being around somebody that's always drunk. So I was dealing with, and I'm still dealing with, a lot of loneliness on top of all of it. But it's loneliness that I created for myself, and it was stuff that like I felt was out of my control. So I like, people would ask me to hang out all the time, and I'd always say no. I'd always say, oh, I'm tired, I've got a lot of homework, I haven't slept. Or I'd use the drunk card and I'd say, I'm already drunk, I can't get to you. So that was a really big thing as well. So I was dealing with a ton of emotions at once. A ton. There's also a lot of stuff going on at home that I'm not going to get into. But just know that that was the main trigger, I guess you could say, for my depression. So all that being said, I decided to see a therapist because I thought that I was getting to the point, not of suicide or suicidal thoughts. And I want to make that very clear. I was not suicidal. I was not suicidal. I was not feeling like I wanted to kill myself. But I was feeling like there was no light at the end of the tunnel, and I was just going to have to go through the motions of life miserable. So I went to go see a therapist because I just did not feel like I could keep moving. And I was getting to a dangerous spot where I was feeling like I was going to lose my job. I was losing all of my friends. My family was getting mad at me because I would, flake on them. And I wouldn't leave my house. And if I did leave my house, it was to do minor things like go get groceries or, that kind of thing. So I quit making YouTube videos because I just didn't have anything to talk about. And my channel is geared around vlogging, and you can't vlog sitting at home sleeping all day. And I didn't have any sit-down videos that I could think of that would be interesting enough to make. And I honestly just didn't feel motivated. I didn't feel motivated to do this. But I like making YouTube videos. I love making YouTube videos. No matter how many views I get on that one video, I like making YouTube videos. I think they're so fun. But at the time, I just wasn't wanting to do anything. I wasn't wanting to see anyone. I wasn't wanting to connect with family, friends, anybody. So that's the main reason why I stopped making YouTube videos. I just couldn't move. I felt stuck. The biggest thing is that the therapist that I was speaking to said, it's not that you want to pass away. It's that you want your situation to go away. You want the bad feelings, what's making you upset, to go away. Now, that being said, I've never related to something more in my entire life. I'll say that. And so because I wasn't feeling motivated to make YouTube videos, I wasn't motivated to go to work, I wasn't motivated to do the DIY projects that I always do, I wasn't motivated to go see my sister or my family or any of my friends, to the point where I now only have 3 friends that barely speak to me, is crazy. Like, you really put yourself in these situations where you do want to be alone, but you don't want to be alone. Like, you don't want everybody breathing down your neck telling you that they're worried about you, but you also want them kind of like on retainer for when you're better. And that's not fair to them. They want you fully present all the time, or they want you fully present when you're in their presence, and you just can't do that sometimes. And sometimes you can't pull yourself out of it, and that's when you need to go see a professional, and that's exactly what I did. But now I'm paying the consequences of not having friends. Hang on. I don't really want to make this video like too edited, and I know that I kind of rambled a bit because I'm going off of like memory and not really off like notes, and I know that that's not like the typical thing that people do when they make sit down videos. They usually talk about certain topics and they go through the motions of the video, but I feel like that's exactly how people feel, like just so scatterbrained and so like crazy and out there all the time, and it's insane. It's absolutely insanity. And I'm so glad that I'm on the mend. I'm not saying that I'm 100%. I'm just on the mend. So that's just how it is sometimes. And so, you know, I've lost friendships. I've lost trust with family members. And by trust, I mean like I was lying to them about the reason why I couldn't hang out with them. Plain and simple. I was lying to them about the reason why I couldn't see them, and so now they don't trust anything I say. If I'm really going to do something and I can't hang out with them, they're like, oh, you just don't want to get out of bed again, you don't want to hang out with me again, you don't love me anymore, and da-da-da-da, and it just has nothing to do with that. Like, even if I'm busy, they don't believe me because I lied, and depression does that to you. It makes you want to make up excuses for the reason why you're acting the way you are, when in reality you just need help. And a lot of people actually told me not to make this video because they thought it would harm me, and it might. I probably shouldn't talk about it, but it might help somebody. The biggest advice, like I've been saying this entire video, is go see somebody and use their coping mechanisms. But what I did personally, and this is not advice towards you, I'm just letting you know what I did, was I ate healthier, I drank a lot more water, I saw a professional, and I did things that were not my norm. So I've never been like an outdoorsy person, and I started like camping and going to outdoor activities, going to the pool, and just enjoying that sunshine. And the B12 has really helped as far as making me feel a little bit better. So I'm going to try. I'm not going to say I'm going to do, because if we're honest, I could regress again. I'm going to try to make videos every week again. And they're going to be either vlogs or sit-down videos or cleaning routines or homemaking things, and they're just going to be a lot more well-filmed, not really just thrown together, and more or better edited. So I'm going to put that into the universe. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. I'm going to do better. And I'm going to make myself, force myself to be happy. Because there's nothing in my life at this moment that I should be upset about. I just need to get back to where I was at. So, I hope that you all are having a great day. I hope that if you are going through something similar, that you go see a professional and that you get the help that you need. Don't use drugs, alcohol, anything like that. Not that I use drugs, but don't use other methods of coping to help yourself feel better. It's not going to help. It's going to mask it. And when you finally get to the point where you're like, okay, this isn't working because whenever I'm sober, I feel like crap, you're gonna explode. You're just gonna have the meltdown of your life, and it's gonna feel awful. So just don't even go there. Don't even go there. I hope that you all are having a great day. That was an awful angle. I hope you all are having a great day. And just know that you are in my thoughts and prayers. And I'm so excited for what I'm going to be producing soon here. Thanks for listening. Bye.